I've got this first song I want to do. I want to send it out to my Aunt Wanda, who back in the 50s married, his name is Frank McIlvain, we call him Big Frank, but he was a rodeo clown at the Mesquite Rodeo in Texas. So I have just one small story about being a child and going to visit them. And me and little Frank, that's their oldest son, we went to the rodeo one night and we're sitting on the front row. And back in those days, this was floor level, and it was near the bull gates and everything. So they had this big, strong steel fence there that you could see through. And we were sitting there waiting for the bull riding competition to start. And these two guys, older than us, come in, and they had all their fancy hats and their buckles and everything. And we're just sitting there in torn jeans, you know, back before it was even fashionable. You know, I'm sure there was mud caked on our, you know, we like that. Well, third grade, maybe give or take a year. So these two guys come in and they sit close to us and they start to harass us and tell us how horrible we are. You know, emotional abuse, yes, that's it. So, you know, we couldn't beat them up, so we just kind of tried to ignore them. And so the first bull comes out of the gates and was spinning madly, trying to get rid of this cowboy on his back, and that big rear end just smashed right up against that fence in front of those two guys. And that normally wouldn't be an issue, except this particular bull had a touch of diarrhea. So these two guys who had just abused us were suddenly covered with, I'll call, the essence of politics. So I had to share that with you, and that is true. True story as best as I can remember it. So, for Aunt Wanda, anyway. This song is called Rodeo Clown. They say he comes from somewhere down in Texas, where the Rio Grande is rolling every day. He works with broncos and cowboys for a living, and laughs at all the blows that come his way. He's got one eye on the ladies while he's bouncing around with a bramer named Shady. Every bone in his body's been broken, but he wakes up in the morning for the rodeo, Antonio, highway blues for the rodeo clown. He's got a friend up north in the Tennessee mountains. He's 42, but he's never been counting. And when that Sunday comes, he takes the blue-eyed women for some fishing and a swimming, making time with the rodeo clown. Listen to the fella on the radio, talking about the people from a rodeo. Everybody knows it's 8 o'clock sharp on a Saturday night. Maybe you shouldn't go down there tonight. The doctor said you better stop fooling around. You find yourself hanging out under the ground. Strolling along from the parking lot trailer, face paint smiling like a shore leave sailor. The steel guitar and the band on the grandstand, floating like a feather, holding everything together. One more time for the rodeo clown. You're the lady, oh, listen to the fella on the radio, talking about the people from a rodeo. Everybody knows it's 8 o'clock sharp on Saturday night. You're the lady, oh, listen to the fella on the radio, talking about the people from a rodeo. Everybody knows it's 8 o'clock sharp on Saturday night. Thank you. This next song, people have asked me after I've done this, is that true? And like I said before, it's as true as it could possibly be. It's called Aliens. Flint Hills shine from a gibbous moon, a Kansas ride on a night in June, cruising along with the windows down, 50 miles from any town. In the north, a silver light, a spinning disc in a flash of flight. Through a phantom fog, there's a spooky glow like a tiki torch flicker on a patio. It was a bloated craft, kind of bluish gray. A circle burned in the prairie hay, and my hairline stood on a prickly neck as I felt the rays of the highest tech. And so I said, what is this? Is this my fate? To be abducted near the interstate? It hovered close, I gave a shout, and my Buick died and my lights went out. Aliens, 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 what you nabbing me for? Fast as a meteor, I asked that giddy, shook, shuddering pile of ooze, what's in store? They carved runes on my cortex, a blue light in a vortex, and all they said was, that's a quote. They rooted and hooted and tooted with glee as they branded me for quality. They said that I don't qualify because I got the brains of a tsetse fly. Said I'm too old-fashioned and analog, and what they meant to get was a shepherd dog, and those creeps flew off without a word, just left me to shiver like a naked bird. And with a fresh tattoo that stings like hell, a gooey mess and a rancid smell, and now I'm bummed as I reflect, am I the only space reject?